Hey friends, it is Miss Liz, and I would like to welcome you back for another installment of Kitchen Science! This month we are going to take a look at some of our cold friends that you can find in either the Antarctic or the Arctic. We are going to learn a little bit about how they keep warm in these super cold temperatures, how penguins seem to always have dry feathers, and we are going to learn how to build our own animal dens. This program was originally designed as a make and take, so if you registered for the program and headed to the library to grab your bag of goodies, you are going to grab those pieces and we are going to start the program. If you did not register for the program or you did not have a chance to get your supplies from the library, that's okay, as you all know, because this is Kitchen Science. This program is designed to be done with anything that you can find in your home kitchen. So what I'm going to do before we get started is put a list of items that you'll need in the next screen. Feel free to pause this video, take a screenshot of it, and go on a scavenger hunt to find all the supplies that you need, and then hit play when you're ready to come back, and then we can get our science fun started. So grab your grab and go kits or grab your supplies that you can find in your own kitchen, and we're going to get this experiment going. For our first experiment today, we are going to learn about how Arctic animals stay warm in icy waters. To do this experiment, you're going to need a large bowl of water, a second bowl of ice, the gloves that were included in your grab-and-go kit, and the vegetable shortening that was included in your grab-and-go kit. Once all of these items are assembled, you are ready to begin. The first step of our icy waters experiment is to take that large bowl of water and to test it out. Put your hand in it and see how it feels. It's kind of warm, but not totally. Then you're going to take your bowl of ice and you are going to dump all of that ice into your water to make our icy water. After all of your ice is dumped into the water, I want you to take your hands with nothing on them and stick it in there. You will notice as you stick your hand in that water is so cold. So I want you to see how long you can keep it in there for before it gets too cold to handle. Here I lasted about maybe 3 seconds. Once you're done trying that out, you're going to dry off your hand and we're going to start turning our hand into an Arctic animal. By doing that, I want you to take one of the gloves that was in your grab and go kit and put it on your hand. Now you might notice that this glove is a little bit big, so in order to make it smaller, you can grab a rubber band or a hair tie or anything like that and put it around the wrist so that the glove fits a little bit snugger and you won't have the chance of getting a lot of water into your wrist and making your hand super cold in that glove. Now with your glove on your hand, you're going to stick your hand in the water and again, see if there's a difference for how much longer you can keep your hand in that ice water now that we've added a layer of skin, just like animals have. Once you're done, you can dry off your glove and we're going to go on to the next step of this experiment. For this part, you are going to take that vegetable shortening that was included in your make and take kits, as well as the second glove, and we are going to make the blubber on our skin. So you are going to take a nice handful of that vegetable shortening and you are going to make sure that your hands are fully coated in it. The more that you can get on your hands, the better. That just means that you will have more blubber to try your icy temperatures with. So don't be shy, really get it on that glove and make sure it is super coated. Once your hands are nice and covered, you can go ahead and stick them into that bowl of ice water. Once you do you notice that there is a temperature difference from when you first put your bare hand in the water to when you're putting your gloved hand in the water to now you're putting your gloved hand with the vegetable shortening on top of the water? If the answer is yes, that means you're doing this experiment right. Yay! Now here you can see I am keeping my hands in this ice water so much longer than I was at the beginning. And that's because I have a nice layer of warmth to keep it warm in that water. The science behind this experiment is that animals like walruses, seals, and polar bears all have a thick layer of fat, called blubber, and that's what keeps them warm in the icy waters of the Arctic and the Antarctic. By creating these layers on top of our hands, we've created our own form of blubber in this experiment. Once you're done playing around with that water, feel free to take those gloves off, dry your hands, and get ready for the second experiment. For our second experiment, we are going to look at how do penguins stay dry in icy waters. To follow along with this experiment, you're going to need the items that were included in your make and take kit, like the penguin coloring sheet, the spray bottle. Make sure to fill it up with water. Now you can fill it up with food coloring if you want to make it fancy, or just plain water works as well. And you're going to want to grab a marker, a crayon, and a colored pencil from your home. Once you have all those supplies assembled, you are ready to go. The first step of this experiment is going to be that we need to color our penguin. So in order to see the difference between what makes a penguin stay dry and what doesn't, we are going to color him in thirds. So for my penguin picture, I'm going to color the top third in colored pencil and carve out a line just like that. For the second half of my penguin, I am going to color him with a crayon and mark him off just like that. And then the bottom half, I'm going to use the marker to color my penguin. Once I have all of the sections ready, I'm going to begin coloring my penguin in. This step is super important to do it really nice and make sure that there's no white spots so that you can really see what our penguin is going to look like at the end, so we can test out why his feathers stay dry. So take your time and definitely color that penguin however you like. He can be whatever colors or patterns you want, as long as your sections are separate with what you use, like the colored pencil, the crayon, or the marker. Try not to combine them in this step. Once your penguin is all colored in, you're going to grab that spray bottle that has water in it, and you're going to spray it all over your picture. Now what I want you to notice, because this is our science experiment, is how that water reacts with your coloring. Does it start to bead? Does it start to fall and really drench the picture? Make sure to put a paper towel under it, because mine is getting messy. And look at how that water interacts with the different mediums that you used. The colored pencil, it kind of stayed a little bit dry, but it did get the paper really wet. The crayon, the water is totally repelling off of it, and the marker section is soaked. The science behind this is that the top layer of a penguin's skin is made out of thousands of small, stiff feathers. The air between those feathers creates good insulation. However, to make their coat even more water and windproof, penguins spread some oil on it, and this oil is produced by their bodies. It's this body oil that creates a waxy-like substance to the penguin's feathers that allows them to stay dry in the icy waters, much like the wax of the crayon does in our coloring penguin sheet. Now, if you want to do this experiment again, there is a second coloring sheet added in with your make and take kit that you are free to color however you want. You can test it out with different coloring items, or you can color your entire penguin with crayons and see if the whole portrait stays dry. It's up to you. Now go experiment with it. Our third and final experiment today is going to be about how Arctic animals build their dens. For this experiment, you're going to need the pasta that was included in your make and take kit, as well as the toothpicks, and a handful of marshmallows that you can find in your kit. That's it. So for this experiment, we are going to start creating our own animal dens at home.
The only science you need to know behind this is that different animals make different sized dens depending on how many of their family members live with them, and if they set up a permanent home or if they just make dens along the way while they move from place to place. What I would like all of you to do at home is just using the supplies in your make and take kit. Start using your own skills to build your own animal den. You can start out by making a small one that might be great for an Arctic fox. You can make an igloo that might be great for a family of penguins, or you can try to make a giant den that might be good for a pack of wolves. Whatever you want to do, you're just going to take those marshmallows and take those pasta sticks, those pieces of spaghetti, and your toothpicks, and just start building and have fun. See if you can build it up, see if you can build it flat, and just really have fun. I'm going to show you a few examples, but your den can look however you want. This is just how I was able to build it. But feel free to have fun and go crazy, because just like the Arctic animals do, you got to find out what works for you.
Thank you all so much for joining me for today's Kitchen Science Arctic Animals. I hope you had fun and learned a little bit about our cold weather friends at home. If you would like to show me any pictures or videos from your science experiment, please feel free to have your grown-up send me an email at the email address below. I would love to see your experiments at home, or if you have any questions about the Arctic animals, please feel free to let me know, and I will try to answer them. We miss you all so much at the library, and we hope to see you soon. Have a great day, and I'll see you all later. Bye!